Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Kent. I'm Reverend Stephen, minister of this congregation. Thank you for joining us this morning as we gather once again, a spiritual community that seeks to be diverse and inclusive as we inspire love, work for justice, and grow together in community. We extend a special welcome to our visitors. Thank you for worshiping with us this morning. Visitors, if you'd like to know more about our church and be in contact with us, there will be a contact link in the chat box at the end of the service. Everyone is welcome to use this link to be in contact with us about concerns or needs you may have. Visitors, you are also welcome to stay after the service and select a breakout room to talk with members and friends of this congregation who are eager to meet you and welcome you. I'd like to express my thanks to our team leading worship remotely. This includes our interim music manager, Vanessa Vesely, our worship associate, Kathy Kearns, our director of religious education, Colleen Taylor, and our tech team, David Smeltzer, Jenny Horvath, Joe Kemmerly, Max Grubb, Jill Forsman, Mary Beth Hannon, our greeter, Michelle Boris, Brad Bolton, our sound tech, and Christy Anderson, who is recording this service. This morning is unique. This is our test run for multi-platform services. Thank you for your understanding as we fine-tune our process this morning. If you have any feedback about how this service goes, please let me know.
Beverly and David Bumbaugh offer these thoughts on creating beloved community. Our church exists to proclaim the gospel that each human being is infinitely precious, that the meaning of our lives lies hidden in our interactions with each other. We wish to be a church where we encounter each other with wonder, appreciation, and expectation, where we call out of each other's strengths, wisdom, and compassion that we never knew we had. How is our church doing in creating a place of radical hospitality that is defined by appreciation and wonder and helping all of us be our most compassionate selves? How can we live into our covenant to create a church that is a joyful and transformative community, a place where we can nurture community and practice kindness? Come, let us worship together as we explore what it means to live in covenant with one another.
We join Unitarian Universalists across the country in lighting a chalice. It's an invitation to continue our ongoing search for the light of truth within us and among us, a light to guide us on our journey as a community toward freedom, and a reminder of our interconnectedness in the great web of existence of which we are each a beloved part. As I light our shared chalice, I invite you to light your home chalice. Come on. Would you join me now in the words of our congregational covenant? We affirm that each life has brilliance, and when joined with others in joyful community, has the power to transform. We pledge ourselves and our resources to this journey. This covenant inspires and challenges us to dwell together in right relationship. We promise to extend hospitality, nurture community for all ages, encourage spiritual growth, honor diversity, and practice kindness.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the body, 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 gathered here in the strong body, Spirit, draw near, power, Spirit, draw near.
Life is a mystery that brings many things. Part of our experience is struggle and loss. But we can find strength and hope in knowing we don't face life's challenges alone. In the spirit of being a community of compassion and care, we take time now to share sorrows, struggles, and losses that are in our hearts right now. Please use the chat box and I'll read them out loud. We hold in our heart Morgan Gregg as she grieves the death of her birth mother. We hold Max Grubb and Shayna in our heart as Shayna goes to be with her mother who's having a heart procedure this week. We send our sympathy and care to the Cannon family, part of our Summer Institute family, as they grieve the loss of Jesse this last week. Vivian Sandlin shares the sad news that her friend Beverly has died. We hold you in our hearts, Vivian. Colleen Taylor says, as the weather gets colder, I think about our human siblings who are without housing. May we find a way to keep them safe and warm. Kara Kramer is thinking of an old friend who is struggling with the challenges of breast cancer treatment. May she find peace, comfort, and a return to good health. I invite us now to enter into the spirit of reflection and prayer with these words of Lynn Cox. Spirit of life, who is ever adapting and renewing, we come together this morning with yearnings that do not match. We yearn for stability, for even one moment of feeling like we know what is going on, for the ability to predict and prepare for what is coming next. Yet we also yearn for change. We ache for a world that turns aside from racism, violence, dehumanization, and disregard for suffering. We pray for a change in the illness, grief, isolation, incarceration, and vulnerability of our loved ones. We reach for connections that will remind us that we are worthy as we are, and we reach for connections that will help us to become our best selves. Hold us in the mystery. Cherish us in the eternal presence of love, and encourage us on the path of growth and development. As individuals and as a people, help us to become who we are called to be. And so may it be. Our lives also bring joy, wonder, and awe. We've experienced moments this week that have lifted our spirits. Let's use the chat box to share these things with each other now. Colleen Taylor sends congratulations to our middle and high school youth who pulled off their first ever haunted forest last night. Well done and bravo. Thank you to our middle and high school youth. Swanee Venida sends a big thank you to Katie Grigg and Greg Miller and those enthusiastic kids who made the forest really scary. Joe Kemmerly is happy to have had my oldest son, Justin, come in for an in-person visit this weekend. Sorry about that. Cheryl Spohr says, my doctor has changed my medicine so I can walk again and have pain relief without side effects. That's wonderful news, Cheryl. Michelle Boris says, thank you for a wonderful first trunk or treat night. Randy and Heidi says, we had a joyful weekend in the company of family celebrating Heidi's dad's 85th birthday and Randy's mother's 92nd birthday. Larry Cole shares that great-grandson Elliot moves into Teen Time Tuesday at birthday number 13. Happy day, Elliot. Raven Luna Black Raven says, it was a pleasure meeting members of the church. The great evening last night. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you had a good time. Sonus Parsons says, Reed just got a new job that is much better, and he is thrilled. Congratulations, Reed. And Aaron McGuire says, thrilled and humbled to have received Kent State University's 2021 Outstanding Teaching Award on Friday. Wonderful, Aaron. Congratulations. And now, with gratitude for these and every blessing we receive in life, for the gift of life itself, for the companionship of each other on life's journey, for the beauty of this world, and for this day of possibility, together let us say, Amen.
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, everybody. I'm ready. I just need to finish this voicemail. Hang on one second. So yeah, I'm just calling to let you know that I'm going to be a little bit late today. My dog got into the trash and ate a bunch of it, and now her tummy's hurting, and I'm going to take her to the vet just to make sure she's okay. Okay, all right, I'll see you later. Okay, all right, bye. Sorry, everybody. I'm back. This morning's story is, oh, shoot, hold on. I forgot to turn off my phone. Let me turn off my phone. Oh, hang on a second. Oh dear. Okay. Hold on. No. I'm fine. I was calling to tell my friend that Gloria didn't feel good. I'm not sick. Okay. Talk later. I'm doing church right now. Okay. All right. Bye. Okay, so this morning's story is, oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. My phone's blowing up. Oh, I gotta take this. No. I'm not sick. Everything's fine. Okay. All right, I gotta go. I'm in church. They're waiting for me. Okay, I gotta go. All right, bye. Okay, the story for this morning is, oh geez. Okay, this one's my mom. I have to take it because I always believe you should always answer the phone when your mom calls. So hang on one second. Hey, Mom. Whoa. Deep breaths. No, I'm fine. No, I wasn't taken by ambulance anywhere. I'm not dying. I told my friend I was going to be late because I got to get Gloria to the vet. She must have misheard me, and now everybody thinks I'm sick. Wait, what did they post on Facebook?
Hey, Colleen, what's going on? Colleen, are you okay? I just saw on Facebook that you're stuck in a trash can and you can't get out.
Oh my goodness. Obviously, I'm not stuck in a trash can. I'm fine. I'm here. Hold on. My phone is just blowing up. Everybody thinks there's something wrong with me. Oh, you know what? This kind of reminds me of something. Reminds me of a game I used to play when I was a kid. Do you remember the telephone game? You'd get into a line, you'd whisper a phrase into your friend's ear, and then they would have to whisper it and down the line. And by the end, the message was really different than what it started as. The lesson in the telephone game, as you've probably already figured out, is that the information you receive via word of mouth is often not always accurate. In fact, if you don't receive the information directly from the source, there is a good chance that at least part of that message is incorrect. Because I'll tell you right now, you can see I'm not stuck in a trash can. What we all need to remember, though, is that what we say can have negative impacts on people, the people who we are talking about too, huh? Oh man, my phone is ringing again. Hold on one second. Hello? It's my neighbor. No, I'm fine. I'm not stuck in a trash can. Thank you for calling. All righty, bye-bye. This is going to take all day to sort out. I think we should just move on. I think my whole time has been taken up anyway. And you know what I wonder? I wonder who's going to call me next.
I don't think any reading I can come up with can top that, but I'll try anyway. Our first reading today is How Social Media Divides Us by Rajiv Vinakoda. People have never been more connected than they are today. The internet, social media networks, and other technologies allow us to instantly send messages across the world and learn about breaking news as it happens. With such expansive networks, Americans in different communities could be connecting with each other, learning about each other, and building bridges to each other, no matter who they are, what they do, or where they live. Connections that transcend social divisions, known as bridging social capital, and brought to national attention by political scientist Robert Putnam should be expanding and pervasive. But that's not the case. In fact, social media is separating us further. In the past, bridging social capital used to be more available and evenly established in America. There were many more neighborhoods and communities that mixed people of different socioeconomic classes and backgrounds. Churches, unions, and other community organizations were the platforms we used to interact, not Facebook or Twitter. Community organizations still exist and continue to help members climb, but there are fewer of them and fewer Americans participate in them. Unlike in online interaction, there was no algorithm to make sure you didn't see anyone who disagrees with you at the grocery store. Community members, by encountering each other in real life, built friendships and mutual respect and greater understanding. These relationships created the bridging social capital that binds us together and creates a sturdy social fabric. Bridging social capital, that key element that traverses socioeconomic, geographic, and racial lines, simply cannot be gained through a social media where algorithms are set up to connect with similar colleagues and steer people away from uncomfortable or inconvenient truths. The internet cannot fix this. We can't rebuild these connections without real human contact. The connection two people might make online is not as strong as connections made in person, especially those that are made through the course of daily living. There is no replacement for personal interaction and empathizing with others unlike you. Our second reading is A Ritual to Read to Each Other by William Stafford. If you don't know the kind of person I am, and I don't know the kind of person you are, a pattern that others made may prevail in the world, and following the wrong God home, we may miss our star. For there is many a small betrayal in the mind, a shrug that lets the fragile sequence break, sending with shouts the horrible errors of childhood, storming out to play through the broken dike. And as elephants parade, holding each other's tail, but if one wanders, the circus won't find the park. I call it cruel, and maybe the root of all cruelty, to know what occurs but not recognize the fact. And so I appeal to a voice, to something shadowy, a remote important region in all who talk. Though we could fool each other, we should consider, lest the parade of our mutual life get lost in the dark. For it is important that awake people be awake, or a breaking line may discourage them to sleep. The signals we give, yes, no, or maybe, should be clear. The darkness around us is deep.
Many of us are old enough to know what life was like before social media. Wasn't it exciting when Facebook began? Here was an opportunity to connect with old friends we hadn't seen for a long time, make new friends, and engage in conversation even though we might be far apart. I have 677 friends on Facebook. Some of them I chat with often, some are colleagues, and others are acquaintances with whom we have friends in common. I've discovered poets, artists, and musicians I wouldn't have otherwise known about. Facebook has also been very useful knowing about things happening in your lives, and this congregation uses it, along with other social media, as a means of communicating with you. But Facebook also has a shadow side. There are the endless ads, hurtful comments, slanted news stories. I've had to unfriend or block people who posted things that were racist, homophobic, or consistently offensive, and perhaps you have too. Facebook is getting a lot of negative press lately because a whistleblower revealed that Facebook's algorithms, the rules for processing information and interactions, are designed to respond most effectively to negative emotions, often impulsiveness or anger. There are concerns, as you've heard, that social media is helping to further divide us rather than bring us together. While our natural tendency as human beings is toward tribalism, aligning ourselves with others who share the same worldview and opinions we do, it is frequently argued that social media has helped us further retreat into bubbles of like-minded people and be less receptive to different ideas. This effect seems to also be leaking over into real life, where when we encounter others with social and political differences, when there could be an opportunity to engage in conversational debate, the practice of shunning those with whom there is significant disagreement is easier than engaging in meaningful debate and exchanging ideas. I've named this same worldview syndrome, and I mention it because congregations are no less immune to this behavior than any other group of people. Our member Jennifer May recently gave an intercultural development inventory presentation. It reveals, at least according to the statistics we have from those who have taken this inventory so far, that our congregation is in a place of minimization. At its best, this means we consider everyone to have inherent worth and dignity, and we are all more alike than different. The shadow side of minimization is that we don't see or appreciate diversity or differences. There are assumptions among us. We assume that everyone is liberal in their politics, that we are all humanists, and that our class and economic status is similar. I've concluded that our congregation has two sets of rules and process, two algorithms. There is the first set that we say we have, our spoken rules and beliefs, that we are a people who celebrate and welcome diversity, practice inclusiveness, and offer everyone radical hospitality. Visitors do find us friendly and welcoming, which is certainly an important part of our congregational culture, and we care for each other, especially in times of struggle and loss. But I'm also aware of behaviors, a sort of shadow set of rules, that reveals that, like any other institution, what we aspire to do and what we do don't always match. One of the places where we need to continue to grow is our respect for diverse spiritual paths, especially Christianity. I've recently heard from members of this congregation who are hurt, angry, and puzzled about how they've been verbally attacked because they are Christians who find meaning and hope in the teachings of Jesus. Some of them are actually afraid to say anything because of how they may be treated for their beliefs. This is not welcoming diversity or being inclusive, and it's out of covenant. This is a serious breach of our promises to one another to dwell together in right relationship, honor diversity, encourage spiritual growth, and practice kindness. How would you feel as a humanist or pagan or atheist or Buddhist if someone said, "Why do you believe that stuff? It's stupid." Or, "I used to believe that, but I know better now." I have heard through the years Unitarian Universalists say these and other incredibly hurtful things about people's beliefs. I have to confess that at times I've failed in my ability to respect others' beliefs. During my ministry preparations, I was invited to do my internship at the First Unitarian Society in Minneapolis, which is one of the best-known humanist congregations in our denomination. At the time, I was still strongly theist, and I honestly wondered what would happen to me if I used the word God or talked about spirituality. I was anxious To deal with my anxiety, I joked that I was a theist lion throwing myself into a den of humanist Daniels. It was good for a laugh at the time, but it displayed my ignorance. I was called out on it, and in response, I opened my mind to discover a people who took seriously the work of training future ministers and who were gracious and welcoming. They didn't demand that I speak and practice humanism, but instead accepted me and encouraged me to look at my theology with a critical mind. I not only grew more deeply into my calling as a minister, but my beliefs changed to embrace a number of humanist ideals that have become part of my theological identity. Ours is a faith that requires humility. If we take seriously our fourth principle, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, we must admit that no one holds a monopoly on truth or has all the answers to life's deepest questions, that there are many truths and different paths to wisdom and leading a good, authentic, and meaningful life. Our search for spiritual truth does not mean, though, that we cannot or should not thoughtfully critique the failings of any religion, including Unitarian Universalism, and question ideas or beliefs that are clearly harmful. It does mean that we need to respect and honor the spiritual journey of every person and engage in a mutual exchange of ideas and beliefs where we offer one another the gifts of genuine curiosity, encouragement to continue our spiritual growth, and acceptance of one another, which is our third principle. If we cannot do this, Unitarian Universalism is meaningless, and we are just another bubble of like-minded people in our own echo chamber. As the poet William Stafford said in our second reading, if you don't know the kind of person I am, and I don't know the kind of person you are, a pattern that others made may prevail in our world, and following the wrong God home, we may miss our star. We've been through some incredibly difficult times these past 18 months. We're all raw and traumatized and dealing with losses and struggles. We haven't really begun to process what the pandemic has put us through or started to work on healing because we don't even know if this thing is over. So let's be gentle and kind with each other. Let's work to be our best selves, a bright star in the world of people who are truly welcoming and kind, who are open to diversity, who are offering acceptance and encouragement, who are truth-seeking and truth-sharing, whose hearts and minds are open to one another. To help us be our best selves, we have our covenant of right relations, an algorithm, a set of rules and process to guide us. Let's review our covenant now as a responsive reading. Kathy's going to join me to lead you in your part of this reading, and we'll take a brief pause between each part to reflect on what we've just read before we read the next part of the covenant. So this is our UUCK Covenant of Right Relations. In order to live out our UU principles and respect the inherent worth and dignity of all people, we covenant to welcome discomfort.
We will learn to welcome discomfort as a source of spiritual and personal growth and an opportunity to reflect, ask, connect, expand.
We covenant to manage conflict.
We will identify and adhere to established mechanisms and available procedures and resources by which we approach and handle conflict with others as well as leadership.
3. We covenant to make space for disagreement.
We will hold space for dissenting opinions and to design meetings and agendas to allow for conflict and disagreement.
We covenant to take responsibility.
We will speak for ourselves and take responsibility for our own actions.
We covenant to value diversity.
We will believe our community is strong enough for different perspectives. We will look with curiosity for truths in minority views. We promise to listen thoughtfully to ideas from others and to be conscious of and fully acknowledge others' emotions and interests, especially if we don't agree.
We covenant to move forward together.
We will forgive the mistakes that others make and that we make ourselves as we learn to address conflict and disagreement. These things we promise, these things we covenant in love and mutual trust.
May it be so, and together in the spirit of love, may we make it so. This community thrives in its shared life of worship, community, and ministry because of the gifts of money, time, and care each of you so generously give. Thank you. To help others in our community thrive, we also give to agencies and organizations in Kent and beyond that serve those in need. October's special offering is for Planned Parenthood of Greater Ohio. Operating 17 health centers throughout Ohio, Planned Parenthood offers reproductive health care services and numerous education programs for generations of Ohioans. In the spirit of gratitude for the gift of one another in this community and the abundance that makes our generosity possible, we now give and receive the offering as a sign of our shared commitment to the life and work of this congregation and beyond.
Two, three, 4, 1, 2, 3.
And now, to bring our time of worship to its close, would you extinguish your home chalice and join me in the words for extinguishing? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. May we carry these in our hearts and minds until we are together again. These are the words of Megan Lloyd Joyner. We celebrate the ultimate blessing, the freedom to trust each other with our vulnerabilities and our truths, to treat each other with dignity and respect, to engage with forbearance, to keep our promises, and to do what love asks of us. Never forget that what we do here is important because of the trust we place in one another and the trust others place in us. What we do here is important because of the stranger who has yet to find us, who will one day come through these doors and say, "Is it okay that I am here?" And we will say, "Yes, we are glad you are here. You are welcome." And now, renewed in our commitment to be a truly diverse, loving, and just community where we have deep meaningful relationships. Let us go forth in joy and hope to continue inspiring love, seeking justice, and growing in community. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. And I see the light in you.